Hey, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Professor Barry here. You can call me Tom. Dr. Barry's fine as well. Yeah, it's just an overview video to get you kind of acquainted with the class, kind of make a connection to you. Just to try to facilitate a good, nice, smooth start to the term. And I'll just kind of walk through some different kind of things, ending up with letting you know about my office hours and ways that I can support you throughout the course. But I got five different things or six different things. First, just kind of give you a general overview of what this class will entail, and the focus of the class. So it's sociology of popular cultures, you know. If you have had a sociology class before, great. If you have not, that's fine as well. I organized the class and put it together with understanding that not everybody has had sociology before. If you have not had sociology, it's going to take just a little bit longer just to kind of get kind of familiar with the language of sociology, the sociological perspectives and theories. If you've had sociology before, this is just going to give you another application of the sociological approach when we're looking at popular culture. So, yeah, the overall like the focus is going to be on. We're going to start with what is sociology. Let's kind of explain it, kind of ease into some different areas that I think are easier to grab onto, and making the application sociology to popular culture. We're going to define culture. We're going to define popular culture. We're going to make these applications, and then we're going to start diving into a lot of different topics that are super fascinating. I think you study popular culture to study a lot of different aspects of things that are going on in society. Popular culture is an expression of humans and culture. We can study it to better understand ourselves and to better understand our social world and institutions. So that's kind of the framework of the class. The general strategies for success for the class are, man, create a schedule and stay with it. Create a schedule every week where you can devote a set amount of time to reviewing the content for the class. Every week there's small little background information lectures. Sometimes the writing assignment. You'll be addressing stuff in the lectures. Other times the lecture component is really just to provide you some background information that's important for getting into the readings or the video or the podcast for the week. So create a schedule, stick to that schedule. I always think, it took me a while to figure out as a student, getting things done earlier than waiting to the last moment. But that's like a life skill. It takes, not, and different people operate in different ways. Some people, just, prefer waiting until the end. But I would, suggest at least start of the term, just getting in there early, looking at what the requirements for the week are. Even if you'd like to wait to the end of the week to do the stuff, get in there early just so you can see the requirements, and then you can make a schedule from there and figure that out. Okay, so there's that. So now let's go into Canvas, kind of explain a couple things within Canvas, things that might be helpful for you. So the Canvas shell will look something like this. Yours may look a little bit different, but this is like for SOC 250. So if I were to go into Canvas, got a lot of classes here. Here's SOC 250. Couple things that I think can be helpful to you in terms of just navigation stuff, is one, if you go to account and you go into notifications, is yours will look a little bit different. Actually, maybe it's settings. If you go into settings, you can change the email address. So if you want to have information coming to a different email than your COCC, you can do that. You can add that there. I think that can be helpful because, just way to access information for you. And maybe it's like that's the preferred method for you. I do provide, video feedback, audio feedback for all or most assignments throughout the course of the term. So when I provide that feedback, you'd get notifications. This is a way just to facilitate, communication between you and me throughout the term when I post announcements, things like that. So that could be helpful. The other thing to think about in here as well, I'm looking at how to make that bigger. Let's see. Hold on a second. Do it like that. The other thing to think of here as well is going to syllabus can be super helpful. Go back to screen share. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm kind of like floundering here. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go to got to do it again. Won't allow me to do that. All right. All right, I'll just kind of do it this way. So if you go to syllabus, click here on syllabus. This can be really helpful because it gives you, it won't show all these initially because those modules aren't open. But this will, I believe it does this for any class that you have. It'll put all of your requirements for the week coming up. It'll right here. So that can be a helpful way for navigating. So that's just an FYI. If I go back to the modules every week, the modules open up on a certain date. I open them up on, it's the same date every week when they open up. Give you it's approximately 10 days to do the requirements for the week. Every week there's an assignment, and then sometimes there's a discussion board post or discussion board responses. To get the class started, it's required to do this attendance requirement, must be completed by the stated date. So you need to complete that. If this is, yeah, so it must be completed by the stated date. This is for winter 2025. So if you're watching this video for a future term, that date's going to be different. So pay attention to the date. And then so complete that just to get things started. Go over, week 0. You can go to the syllabus there. And then the week 1 assignment requirements. Let me kind of walk through the requirements real quick. I just give you some background information, making sure it's college level writing. If you haven't taken writing 121, 122, and you're not the best writer, all good. I'm interested in your exploration of thoughts and ideas, your demonstration of engagement and understanding the material. So if it's not like the most well-written piece of, assignment, that's okay. As long as you're communicating, as long as you're demonstrating understanding, all is good. A couple of things to be mindful of is to complete them by the assigned due date. You have 25% deduction for turning it in after the due date, and nothing will be accepted more than a week late. Include a word count. Usually identify a word count for each section. So include that word count. To get to a word count, you can just highlight it, and down there at the bottom, we'll give you the word count. So include that. When I review your work, I'm looking for understanding, exploration, definitions. It's define. Rarely is it about opinion. I'm not interested in usually people's opinion. I'm interested in their understanding and understanding how to apply things. So that's important. Like I said, take the pressure off if you're not the strongest writer. It's more about that exploration part. And I'd rather students struggle with the writing and just working through it and making it happen. And I can provide feedback and guidance. And, we develop that skill of writing as we go. So if you're not the strongest writer yet, give yourself time. I mean, it will happen. With GPT and other sites and resources or anything, just be aware of plagiarism. For me to evaluate the work, it has to be in your own voice, your own language. That's the only way I can understand your level of understanding of the material. So I encourage you to consult other sources, but all the work in the class must be in your own voice, your own words. And my tolerance level or acceptance level for anything outside of that. If there's stuff that's coming from an outside source and it's identified, every assignment through this class goes through an authenticity report. So it checks for the authenticity of that document. If there's a question about that document and it gets highlighted, it's like, okay, that information is coming from an outside source. If there's issues of integrity about your work, I'll set up a meeting. We'll get some clarification. We'll kind of go from there. If there's a second infraction, or depending on the degree of the first infraction, a 0 for the assignment, and if it happens, depends on the significance of the infraction, but maybe even the first time, removal from the class, second time, future times, removal from the class. So I take that really seriously. Academic integrity, it's your work, you're demonstrating this is your stuff. And by including things that are from an outside source without quotation marks, even if you include things from an outside source and you're putting quotation marks around it, that's fine from a plagiarism viewpoint. I still need to know your understanding of it, so it still has to be explained. So I think for the most part, no quotation marks around material. Just kind of explain things in your own words. So this is the week 1 assignment. As you can see, it's like, okay, explain sociological perspective, provide an example. I provide in the lecture, give you some discussion of the sociological imagination. You can read this, describe the imagination. And here's like, the word count for each of these. So just kind of walk through. Like I said, you can open up these documents at the beginning of the week. You can kind of see what's there and kind of build your schedule for the week from there. Every week there's this course materials link. There's the video lecture for the week. There's the PowerPoint. If there's weekly readings, they'll be located in there as well. So that's what to follow. Starting in week 2, there'll be a discussion board and discussion board requirement. So for the discussion board, there's the post due on one day. Again, this is for winter 2025. If you're taking it in a different term, the dates are going to be different. But the posts are due one Sunday, and the following Sunday, two peer responses. The peer responses need to have sufficient detail, information, extending the conversation, providing some additional value. So beyond, hey, I really appreciated that. That was really nice. Great connection. Those are all definitely valuable and important to state, but also to add additional content to demonstrate your ability to make applications and to extend the discussion. So it's adding content to those peer responses. I do like to start off by the discussion boards by including this link to principles of community, so that this is a space where we're exploring ideas with each other, we're providing applications, and to support the values of the principles of community for the college. Super important in any environment throughout the course of term, but it happens most often in a discussion board where we're interacting with each other, of academic integrity, respecting the dignity of other individuals, other voices, other perspectives. Somebody may post something that's a different value and idea than our own. It's respecting the ability for people to provide their own viewpoint and perspective without demeaning and devaluing individuals. Definitely challenge doesn't mean that we don't challenge each other. We can challenge each other but with coming from a place of respect of the other person, respect of ourselves, to support kind of an inquiry or discussion and debate versus dispute of an individual. So respecting the rights of others, promoting understanding, exploration of ideas, creating a healthy and safe learning environment for everyone. So really important throughout the class, but I think, within the discussion boards, it's where it's going to mostly come up. Okay, so I think that might be it. All I want to kind of do. Oh, let me kind of end with this. That to let you know, I have office hours in Bend on the campus in Bend. They're stated on the syllabus. I'm available during those time periods for you to drop by. My schedule can be pretty open as well. If the times that are my office hours don't work for you, let me know. We can meet in Zoom. We can just exchange email. I'm here to support you. I'm here to create, I think, a really great class. It's really well structured, interesting content. I'm here to support you and just reach out to me. especially the start of the term, if you're trying to figure things out and if you're struggling in some sort of way, the more I'm involved or an instructor for any classes and for your other classes, man, engage with your instructors. They're your greatest guide and support for getting things going in a class. So let me know. I wish you well getting started. I'm looking forward to a great class. Looking forward to your work throughout the course of the term. Have a beautiful, splendid day and rest of your week. All right, take care.